ఇప్పుడు ఏదైనా పెద్ద డేటా ఇన్సర్ట్ చేయాలనుకోండి, అంటే స్టోర్ ప్రొసీజర్ లో పెట్టే చేస్తాము, నార్మల్ ప్రొసీజర్ అయినా కూడా, లేకపోతే
Yeah,
అంటే even-
anything in the real-time projects, if you want to be work, must ensure the people are using the stored procedures only. They won't interact passing the queries directly to the stored database, because as we discussed in the last class, whenever you are working with the queries, it will going to affect the injection attacks. In SQL Server injection attacks ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో, to overcome that, we are using this stored procedure. If the table would be more bigger and it is having more number of columns, even though we are not bothering about it, we need to be follow with the stored procedures only. We need not to expose the name of the table to the outside world. We need not to expose which type of operations you are doing, either insert or update or delete. Because whenever you are calling the stored procedure name as, suppose Raghav. I mean, what is there inside of the Raghav stored procedure? The intruder don't know, right?
yeah.
Due to that reason, to reduce the injection attacks, we are using this stored procedure names than sending the query.
ఓకే, అంటే నార్మల్ గా ఇప్పుడు ఆల్రెడీ నేను ఒక 10 టేబుల్స్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తాను మేడం, ఆల్రెడీ డేటాబేస్ సెటప్ చేసేసాను.
Okay.
బట్ ఇప్పుడు డేటాబేస్ కి స్టోర్ ప్రొసీజర్ లా కన్వర్ట్ చేయాలంటే దాన్ని కూడా చేయాలా, లేకపోతే
డేటాబేస్ ని స్టోర్డ్ ప్రొసీజర్ లాగా కన్వర్ట్ చేయలేము. డేటాబేస్ లో ఉన్న టేబుల్ కి, ఒక్కొక్క టేబుల్ కి స్టోర్డ్ ప్రొసీజర్ రాయాలి. సపోజ్ ఎంప్లాయీ ఉందనుకో, ఎంప్లాయీ నుంచి నువ్వు డేటా గెట్ చేయాలి అంటే గెట్ ఎంప్లాయీస్ అని చెప్పేసి నువ్వు స్టోర్డ్ ప్రొసీజర్ రాయాలి. ఆ ఎంప్లాయీస్ కి డేటా ఇన్సర్ట్ చేయాలంటే ఇన్సర్ట్ ఎంప్లాయీ అని ఒక స్టోర్డ్ ప్రొసీజర్ రాయాలి. ప్రొసీజర్ రాయాలంటే ట్రై టు టేక్ గెట్ ఎంప్లాయీ ప్రాక్ అని తీసుకోండి. అర్థమవుతుందా? ప్రాక్ అంటే ప్రొసీజర్, ఇన్సర్ట్ ఎంప్లాయీ ప్రాక్.
నేను ఆల్రెడీ టేబుల్స్ క్రియేట్ చేసేసిన మేడం. ఇప్పుడు టేబుల్స్ క్రియేట్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఒక 5 టేబుల్స్ క్రియేట్ చేసిన తర్వాత నేనేమని అనుకుంటున్నా అంటే, మీరు ఈ తర్వాత చెప్పారు కదా, క్రియేట్ అవన్నీ అప్డేట్ తర్వాత ఈజీ స్టోర్ ప్రొసీజర్ చెప్పారు కదా.
యా, యూ కెన్ అప్డేట్ ఫర్ ఆల్ ద టేబుల్స్, క్రియేట్ ద ప్రొసీజర్స్.
ఓకే, అంటే దాన్ని అప్డేట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు ఆ టేబుల్స్ ని ఆల్రెడీ స్టోర్ ప్రొసీజర్ లో.
కాదమ్మా, సి you are in a right way. I mean, sorry, you are in a wrong way. See, I'll tell you. Suppose you have the database as, suppose you are having the database, create database, the database name is Raghav. Okay, in the Raghav database you have a table that is employee. Okay, create table, one is employee, one more is so and so columns are there in the employee class, right?
Yeah.
And now the same way you have the other table, create table, the table name would be student, right? The student is also having other columns. Along with this, we have some more database tables. Those are create table. The name of the table would be take as ABC, right? Now, how many tables are there for this? 3.
It's 3 tables, yeah.
Now, in the database Raghav, we have 3 tables. In the employee, if you want to perform insertion, we are writing insert query, update query, delete query, and select query. Am I right? Now, we need not to perform any queries directly. Insert into employee values, our name perform JM.
Okay.
So what we are doing is, other than passing the query, if you want to insert it, we are using the procedure. Create procedure, the name of the procedure as employee, the name of the procedure as insert EMP record. Okay. With the help of the procedure, we are inserting into the employee. We have discussed, right? At the rate P, EMP ID is integer. Suppose we have 2 columns in the table. Okay, at the rate P, EMP ID and at the rate P name, ఈ 2 columns ఉన్నాయి అనుకోండి దాంట్లో. Now, as begin and insert, am I right? Insert into EMP values. The EMP values are ID and name. Okay. Listen carefully. See here, ID undi. Next one is we have name, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now finally end. So we have written the procedure to perform the insert record. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
The same way, the last class whatever we have discussed, perform the procedure for update record, delete, update EMP record, delete EMP record, select EMP record. That means, see what you are doing now, update EMP record and you are doing delete EMP record, and select EMP record. Am I right? So
yes.
You are writing the stored procedure for only employee table. Am I right?
Yeah, ma'am.
Now you need to write the stored procedure, 4 stored procedure for inserting, updating, deleting and selecting for those 4 stored procedure for student class also. Am I right?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
The same way again write insert, update, delete, select 4 stored procedure for ABC table also.
Yeah.
For all the tables we need to have all the correct operations, right? Like insert, update, delete and select. Okay.
ఓకే, ఆల్రెడీ బిల్డ్ చేసిన టేబుల్స్ ని జస్ట్ అప్డేట్ చేసుకుంటాము మేడం మరి.
ఆ టేబుల్ ని అప్డేట్ చేయవమ్మా. See
నార్మల్
that
నార్మల్ టేబుల్స్ ఇప్పుడు క్రియేట్ చేసేసిన అనుకోండి మేడం, కాకపోతే అది నాకు స్టోర్ ప్రొసీజర్ లాగా కావాలి.
store procedure
దాన్ని
లాగా
ఎలా
I
కావాలి
think
అంటే you need
Raghav
to
is
write the
confused
code like
here.
this. I'll talk to you again otherwise, Raghav, because you're not getting the
కాదనుకుంటా కళ్యాణి, నాకు తెలిసి తను అడుగుతుంది ఆల్రెడీ టేబుల్స్ క్రియేట్ చేశాం కదా, దెన్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద పర్పస్ ఆఫ్ స్టోర్ బాక్స్. సో ఐ థింక్
yeah, that's what I'm
స్టోర్ బాక్స్
saying.
అదే తను వేరేలాగా అనుకుంటున్నాడు. ఆల్రెడీ క్రియేట్ చేశాం కదా, మళ్ళీ ప్రొసీజర్ చేసి మళ్ళీ ఇన్సర్ట్లు ఎందుకు చేస్తున్నాము అని.
Raghav will do one thing. I'll connect with you after the session. Okay. We'll talk to we'll talk to that
ఓకే
and
మ్యామ్.
we'll see. Okay.
యా యా, నో ప్రాబ్లం.
Yeah. Fine. We'll see. Yeah. We'll continue the class now, all of you. Yeah, but nice question. But whenever you can able to practice more, so that you can able to understand the things. Okay. What is the stored procedure అన్నది ఆ క్లాస్ అయిన వెంటనే ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తే రైటింగ్ ద సింటాక్స్ ఆఫ్ ద స్టోర్డ్ ప్రొసీజర్, సో దట్ యూ పీపుల్ వోంట్ గెట్ ద క్వశ్చన్ లైక్ దట్. Need to have more practice basically. Yeah, fine, no problem. We'll see now the topics like what is the meaning of constraints, and what is the meaning of login query, and all those things we'll see now today. Constraints and login query, these two topics we'll see today, constraints and login query. Now listen here all of you carefully. The constraints, in a sense, we are applying some business rules. Okay, constraints means the business rules. Constraints means it's a business rule. Applying the business rule, applying the business rules for the table. What is the meaning of applying the business rules on the table means? We'll see now. We are applying some business rules on the table. That is what we are calling as a constraint. What is the meaning of business rule? So what are the examples of business rules? How we can apply those business rules and all we'll see now. See, business rules in a sense, suppose the example that my employee ID, whatever that is there in the employee table, need not to take duplicate. Suppose the example that I have 5 employees, those 5 employee names are like Shravanti, Divya and Spandana, and I have Gaurav and Venkat. See, among these 5 employees, I don't want any of the employee ID need to be repeat. Employee ID naku repeat avvadu anukuntunnanu. Like 101, 101. Suppose the example that 101 is there Shravanti and again 101 is there with Divya. So if 2 employees are having the same employee ID, it is difficult for me which employee is having. Whenever I'm calling the 101, which employee will going to return. So the thing is, must and should, we need to take the employee ID as unique. Employee ID as unique. Unique employee ID is required. That is a business rule. Whenever the project is coming to our organization, the people will tell that employee ID would be unique. Okay. And one more thing, the employee ID need not to be null. Employee ID need not to be null. Suppose the example that I have an employee, the employee is not assigned the employee ID. Employee undi employee ID ledanukondi, it is not acceptable, right? Suppose I'm there in the organization, for me I don't have any employee ID, it is not, so if I'm not having employee ID, I don't have any access to enter into the organization, right? So whenever our employee is joined in the organization, the employee ID is mandatory. Employee ID is not null. The next one is employee ID is unique. Suppose the example that for me and suppose my friend is there on the organization, for both of us same employee ID is there, it is difficult for the organization people to contact both of us. That is the reason must and should employee ID would be unique and employee ID would be not null. Okay, like this. I mean, is there any other business rules are there? We need to take all those business rules from the client while developing the SQL Server tables, while developing the SQL Server databases and all those things. Is there any unique data, I mean unique columns are there? Is there any not null columns are there? Those are all the business rules we need to consider before creating the tables. Okay, like this, to apply the business rules, to apply the rules, like, you know, employee ID will not be duplicate, employee ID will not be null. Like this, if you want to apply any of the constraints, we are using the, like this, if you want to apply any business rules, to apply the business rules, we are using the concept that is what we are calling as constraint. Okay, now we'll see how we can apply the business rules in the table, and you know what types of constraints are available, all those things. Okay, first we'll see the types of constraints here. Types of constraints. Now see, the first type is the primary key. Primary key. The primary key will not accept duplicate and not null. The primary key will not accept the duplicate values, and the primary key will not accept the null values. No duplicates and no null values in the primary key. Okay, no duplicates and no null values in the primary key. Along with this, we have other constraints also: primary key and foreign key, and we have not null, and we have checked constraints, check constraints. Like this, we have the constraints. See, we'll see one by one what is the meaning of primary key and what is the meaning of foreign key, what is the meaning of not null, and what is the meaning of check constraints. We'll see the programmatical wise now. See here, all of you. I'm creating the table in the eCloud database. I'm creating the table in eCloud database. This is the eCloud. In the eCloud already empty table is there. I'll try to refresh it, the tables, and we'll see what are the list of tables are available. Already we have EMP, employee, EMPP are there. Now we'll see. I'm just trying to connect to the server, connecting to the server and connect here. And after that, we need to change the name of the database from master to eCloud. Yeah, suppose we'll try to run this so that it will automatically change the. Now we need to change from here master to eCloud. All of you people know, right, why I'm changing like this? Because we are executing the table that is present in the eCloud database. Correct? Now we'll see here, all of you, very carefully. I'm trying to create a table, that is create the table. The table name I'm creating as EMP constraint. I'm taking EMP constraint, and now my column name is EMPID. EMPID is a type integer. Employee ID must and should of type primary key. Okay. What is the primary key? In the sense, it is not going to accept the duplicate values. It is not accept the null values. We'll see while inserting. When you are inserting the duplicate value, what will happen? While inserting the null value, what will going to happen? That all those things we'll see now. Now employee ID and employee name, the varchar 50. These two columns are there in a table. Okay, these two columns are there. Now I'm trying to run this. EMP constraint table will going to generate. Now I'm going to the table. I'm refreshing this, and EMP constraint one key symbol will come. Whenever you are applying the primary key, the key symbol will be there. Now that means in the employee EMP constraint table, the employee ID column having the primary key. That is the meaning of this key symbol. Okay. Now observe here, all of you, very carefully. First business rule for the primary key is it will not accept the duplicate value. Duplicate value accept cheyadu antunam. Duplicate value accept cheyakapovam ante enti? For two employees, same employee ID. Okay, for two employees, same employee ID will not be possible. Same EMP ID will not possible because it is having the primary key. Duplications will not be possible. Now listen here, insert into EMP constraint is a EMP constraint values. In the table I'm trying to insert 101, and the name is Shravanti, and in the Shravanti I'm just trying to run this, and the same way, see here, all of you, Shravanti will going to insert. See, one row is affected successfully, and now I'm again trying to insert EMP constraint 101 with Divya. What will tell here is it will not going to accept the duplicate values. See, I'm trying to insert Divya also in the same employee ID. It is not possible, right? Two employees will not be having the same employee ID. See here what will happen now when I'm trying to insert. See, it is violating the primary key. It is telling that the violation of the primary key constraint cannot insert the duplicate key. Duplicate key, that is duplicate key value 101 we can't insert because of this violation. The statement whatever you are trying to execute, this statement has been terminated. That is the meaning of it. Clear all of you? Now if I'm trying to insert the 1 or 2, okay, now it will going to execute. That means it is requiring the non-duplicated values. If you are trying to insert the duplicate values, it will going to stop the execution. It will going to terminate the line of code whatever you are trying to execute. Now listen, we'll try to see one more example here. Insert into EMP constraint. Now here I'm not passing the employee ID. I'm trying to pass like Spandana. Okay, we'll see now what will happen. Insert into EMP constraint, the values we are trying to pass, see what will happen. We need to pass the column name, that is it is saying, see, suppose we are trying to pass like this and we are trying to pass the null value. See here, all of you. See, the statement has terminated because we can't pass the null values into this. Okay, must and should we need to pass one employee ID. It is not going to accept the null values also. So suppose I'm trying to insert 103 will going to execute. Again I'm telling you people, listen. I'm trying to execute this Spandana now. Spandana will going to execute. If I'm trying to pass the null value, null is also a value. See, when I'm trying to pass the null, it is not accepting the null value here. Okay, it is not accepting the null value also. See, no? Because we can't insert the null value in the EMP ID because EMP ID is having the primary key. Because primary key will not accept the null values and primary key will not accept the duplicate value. This is the fund of primary key. Primary key will not take null value. Primary key will not take duplicate value. Clear all of you? Now we will see what is the meaning of unique key that is present in this. Okay, unique is also one more constraint. Unique is also one more constraint. Now we have completed the primary key. The primary key means it will not accept the duplicate value and it will not accept the null value. Okay, what is the meaning of unique key? We'll see. Coming to the unique key will take unique values like 101 and 102 and 103 like this. Now, along with this, my unique key will take one null value. Okay, unique key will accept one null value. That is the meaning of this. What is the difference between primary key and unique key in the sense? Primary key will not accept the one null value also, but the unique key will accept one null value. Because null is also a unique, right? One null, unique values required. If you are trying to pass again second null, that is the duplication is there because we need the unique things. I mean 2 times null in a sense the null and null will not be possible. Only one null is possible because one null is a unique one only. Second null whenever you are taking null will become duplicate. That is the reason primary unique key will take only unique values, and along with this unique key will accept one null value also. Clear all of you? And now we will see how to create this. Okay, now listen here all of you very carefully. I'm creating table. The name of the table would be DEPT constraint. I'm taking DEPT constraint and listen here all of you. I'm taking department number as varchar 50, the department number as varchar 50 and the department name I'm taking here, department name varchar 50 and the department name I'm taking as varchar 50 now. Now listen here all of you. Department name is also varchar 50. Now I'm trying to execute this table that is draw DEPT constraint. Now listen here all of you very carefully. I'm insert into DEPT constraint, DEPT constraint. I'm inserting the record 10 and the name of the department 10 is would be at Hyderabad. And now listen here, the same way we can able to insert 20. The 20 employees available at 20 employees available at. Why it is coming like this? In the sense we need to take one more quote after completion of this Hyderabad, and the 20 employee ID is available in Bangalore. Now listen, we can able to pass one null value here. We'll see here as we discussed. It will accept one null value, right? Null, and as of now what we can do is we'll try to insert two records first. After that we'll try to work with the third record, that is this. Okay, now I'm trying to run this. Listen, two records need to be inserted. One is 10 and 20. Am I right, all of you? Now I'm trying to execute this. Observe here, all of you, very carefully. Two rows are there. Now I'm trying to execute the row that is having the null value. So insert into DEPT constraint, and the values I'm passing. The first value would be null, and the second value would be whenever the employee ID, whenever the department number is not mentioned, the person is available in India. Okay. Now see. Now listen here, all of you. One null value it will take. The row is successful. Clear, all of you? Now if I am trying to insert one more null value here, and I am trying to insert one more null value here, that is USA. So already one null is there, right? That is the reason it won't accept one more null here. See? Why it is accepting? Tell me, all of you. We didn't taken the unique over here. Am I right? While creating the DEPT constraint table, we didn't taken the unique as a constraint over here. Okay, we'll do one thing. We'll try to delete this table from here. అర్థమైందమ్మా అందరికి? Please unmute once, all of you. Please unmute. Unmute once. Yeah. See, we didn't taken any unique as a concept here, right? Unique as a concept here, right? Due to that reason, again it is accepting the. I'm getting my voice back. We didn't taken any unique as a constraint over here. That is the reason. I'm getting my voice back. Please don't unmute, all of you. Now listen here, all of you. Why it is getting, why it is inserting the null value again, in the sense we didn't taken any unique as a constraint. Due to that reason, it is accepting the null value again. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to delete this EMP here, deleting the table. Now I'm taking the not unique over here again. With unique, I'm trying to insert the table now. Observe here. Now I'm created the unique constraint department number, and I have created the table again. I'm refreshing this. Observe here, all of you, very carefully. Now I'm trying to insert this 10 and 20 now. Observe. Two records are inserted. I'm trying to insert the third record that is having null now. The third record is inserted. Now listen here, all of you, very carefully. Select a star from DEPT constraint. DEPT constraint is the table. And now I'm trying to execute this. One null is there already. And now I'm trying to insert one more null here. See, it is telling that unique key violation. Am I right? Violating the unique key, because a duplicate null is not possible. Duplicate key, the null you are trying to pass, it is not possible. Clear, all of you? Must and should you can able to pass only one null value whenever you are taking the column as unique. Whenever you are taking the primary key, one null value is also not possible. And whenever you are, the difference between a primary key and unique key is primary key will take primary key will not take duplicate values and will not take null values. And coming to unique key, it will take only unique values. Only unique values. Along with this, it will take one null value also. One null value also will not take in primary key. That is the difference between primary key and unique key. Okay. Now we'll see one more concept here, that is not null. Okay. Now listen here, all of you. We'll take not null here. I'm trying to take the name itself. It is very clearly indicating that not null, in the sense it will not take any null values. Okay. Now listen here, all of you, very carefully. I'm taking one more table, create table, and the name of the table would be, suppose I'm taking as the name of the table would be, I'm taking Kalyani as the name of the table. Okay. EMP ID, I'm taking EMP ID as integer. I'm taking here as not null. Okay. It is not null, and one more thing is I'm taking varchar 50. Okay. Varchar 50. Clear, all of you? I'm trying to execute the table that as Kalyani, and see the table is available with the name Kalyani. In the name Kalyani table, must and should we need to pass not null values in employee ID. Clear, all of you? Now listen, I'm trying to insert into Kalyani values. While you are inserting with the 10 and Kalyani as employee ID, employee name, there is no issues. It will going to execute properly. And now listen, I'm trying to insert the null value over there in the employee ID, because it is a not null if you are trying to pass null. So what will happen? We'll see. See again, cannot insert the null value because column allows, because the column does not allows. Clear? Because why it is the column is not allowing? Because we have taken the column as not null. The column itself, it is saying that you don't pass null values. If you are trying to pass the null values, it is showing the error saying that the column that is there, the employee ID, that doesn't allow null values. That is the reason insert would become fail. Clear, all of you? Because of this insertion fail, the statement, whatever the line you are trying to execute, that is terminated. Clear? And now we will see one more thing, that is foreign key. Okay. Whenever you know the primary key, then only we can apply the foreign key to the other table. See, we need to have two tables. The first table must and should need to have the primary key, and second table we need to have the foreign key. Foreign key. What is the meaning of primary key? What is the meaning of foreign key? We'll see now. Now observe here, suppose see example that you are going to some shopping mall. Okay, just give me a minute. Observe here, all of you. What is the meaning of first table? What is the meaning of second table, and all those things we'll see now. Suppose see example that you people are going for shopping. Okay, in the shopping application, we have two tables. First table would be customer. Okay. Now in the second table would be items. Okay, second table would be items. Suppose see the customer table would be having the values like columns like this. Customer table is customer ID. Customer type ID mustn't be unique. As I'm telling you people, employee ID, how the employee ID would be unique and it is a not null. The same way customer ID would be primary key, and customer name, and we have the total amount how much the customer has purchased. Suppose the example that one is the customer ID. The customer ID name is suppose Shravanti, and the Shravanti purchase, the total amount would be suppose 600 USD. Okay, 600 USD. So for the 600 USD, what all the items Shravanti got purchased, we need to mention those items in the items table. Am I right? In the items table, we have item name and the item price, and customer ID person has purchased this item also we need to mention with the help of customer ID. Now listen here, the item name what the customer is purchased is, suppose the example that the customer purchased the TV price is 400 USD, and the person who is purchased this TV would be the customer ID person, that is 101. The same way, the customer purchased the AC price is 200 USD, 200 USD, and the customer who is purchased the AC is 101. Am I right? See, if the item, if the person need to purchase the item, must and should he need to pay the amount? Am I right? If the person need to purchase the item, the must and should he need to pay the amount. First, the person purchased it. Whenever the person has completed the billing, then the customer billing amount would be added to the table like this. The customer name is this, and the customer ID is this. The customer is purchased the amount, that is 600 USD. Like this, first it will be added them. It record into the customer table. Once the customer is paid the bill for that customer ID is created for that customer. What all the items is purchased, with the help of the items table, the items will going to store in the items table with the help of the customer ID. So if the customer is not paid the bill, it is not possible you to insert the items into the items table, because once amount purchase చేస్తేనే కదా మనం ఐటమ్స్ ఏమేమైతే ఐటమ్స్ హోల్డ్ అయిపోయో ఐటమ్స్ టేబుల్ లో మనం ఇన్సర్ట్ చేస్తాము. So must and should, if the customer is paid the amount, then the customer table, the record is generated based on the customer ID. We are trying to insert the items in the items table. So if the customer, suppose the example that if what you are trying to do is, I want to purchase, micro oven, and the micro oven I want to purchase that is 600 USD, and my customer ID is 102. The 102 person, he didn't paid the amount. He didn't paid the amount. There is no record at least is available in a customer table. So we can't able to insert item into the items table. So ఒకవేళ person amount pay చేస్తే, then the customer table లో customer ID will generate. Due to that customer ID only, we can able to insert that record into the items table. So if the customer didn't pay the amount, he didn't get the customer ID. If the customer ID is not available, we can't able to insert the record into the items table. So first parent table need to have the record. Based on the parent table record, we can able to insert the data into the child table. Okay, so see here, one customer ID may have multiple references in the child table. So one primary key will have the foreign key here. These all here the 101 employee, he is purchased the TV as one item name. 101 employee, he is purchased the one more item, that is AC. See, the primary key here 101 is pointing to the foreign key. This is 101 and 101. Okay, this is a primary key. If the primary key column is there, then only we can able to insert the employee or then only we can able to insert the customer into the foreign key table. This is a primary key table, primary key table, primary key table, and next one is foreign key table. Next one is foreign key table. Foreign key table. Now, if the employee is available, if the customer is available in a customer table, that is a primary key table, then only according to that employee or according to that customer, then we can able to insert those records into the foreign key table. If we don't have any references of the primary key, we can't able to do insertion in the foreign key table. Mandatory is we need to have in the primary key, then only we can able to insert in the foreign key. So we'll see the same scenario. First we'll create the customer table as a primary key, and the same way we can able to insert the item table with as a foreign key, and we'll try to see the output. Okay, first is customer and the second is items. Okay, now observe here all of you very carefully. I'm just trying to execute this. Observe here, first is primary key, second is foreign key. Okay, create the table. The name of the table would be customer. Customer ID would be employee. Customer ID would be primary key. Now observe here, customer ID, that is integer. It need to be primary key. And now observe here, customer name. The name of the customer would be varchar 50, and the price of the customer price is integer. Now observe here, create table. The table, the name of the table would be items. Now in the items table, customer ID, here the customer ID, some mistake here, we'll check it first. Varchar 50, the customer ID is integer here. It is, this is the foreign key as I'm telling you. foreign key, it is pointing to the primary key table name. Foreign key, this is referring to foreign key references primary key table name, that is customer, primary key table, that is customer, and primary key table customer column name is customer ID. Clear all of you? The foreign key, whatever that is there in the child table, that is referring to the primary key table name customer, primary key column name, that is CID. So if you have some value in the CID here, then only we can able to insert the record into the item table. My foreign key, whatever I have created in the item table, that is referring to the primary key, that is customer. If the customer table customer ID is not available, we can't able to insert that customer ID in the items table. We'll see now. Now the item name what the person is purchasing, the item name is varchar 50, the varchar 50, and the price of that particular item price is integer. Now observe here, all of you very carefully. First I'm trying to execute the primary key one, after that I'm trying to execute the foreign key one. Okay, so primary key table is done and foreign key table is inserted. Now let's listen here, all of you. Insert into customer values. Okay, I'm trying to insert the customer values. The first customer is 101. His purchase, his name is suppose Gaurav, and now the amount he purchased is suppose 1000 USD. Okay, now I'm trying to insert him. Now listen here, all of you very carefully. I'm trying to insert him. Now insert into items table, items values, the items values, my employee ID, my customer ID is 101 because customer ID 101 is already available. He's purchasing the TV. The TV price would be 600 USD, and the next one is 101. The same employee is purchasing the AC. The AC amount would be, that is 400 USD. Okay, now I'm trying to run this. Observe here, all of you very carefully. Two records are inserted. Now observe here very carefully. I'm trying to insert into items values. Now see here, all of you. I'm trying to insert 102 as a customer ID. Now the customer ID 102, I'm trying to take cooler. Okay, the cooler price, that is 200 USD. Now tell me, all of you, is it possible to insert now this record? No, right? Because the customer ID 102 is not available in the customer table. See what will happen now. See what it is saying. The foreign key is not having in the primary key. Insertion is conflicted. Okay, the foreign key is this. The conflict occurred in the database eCloud. The information is not properly telling, but we are can't able to insert into the child table, that is the items table, because that matching customer ID is not available in a customer table. That is a major violation over here. Now must and should, we need to insert the record in the customer table. First we need to insert the record into the customer table. Then only we can able to insert the record into the child table, that is items table. If I suppose, see, if I'm inserting 102 here, the Gaurav 1 is the employee ID, employee name. See, 102 is available now. Insertion is 102. Now this record we can able to insert. See, now there is no violation because you can able the 102 is available in a customer table. But then 102 is available. Then 102 record would be possible in a items table also. Okay, like this, if the record is the referring record, we are referring to the primary key column, that is one CID. The reference is not available. If the reference is not available, then we can't able to insert into the foreign key column. Okay, must and should, the primary key reference is required. Then the primary key is reference is required. Then only it can able to point into the foreign key table. Okay, first primary key reference is required, then we can able to insert it as a reference in the child table. Clear, all of you? Take the screenshot of it. Then finally we'll see one more constraint, that is not null. Checked constraint, one more is there. We'll see that. Now we'll see about the checked constraint. Now in the check constraints, we need not to the check in the sense, whatever the employee ID is there, the employee ID need not to be match need not to be crossed more than 1000. Must and should the employee ID range would be less than 1000. Then we need to checking the value if the value is correct or not. My business rule, my client is saying that employee IDs must and should less than 1000. So if the user is inserting the employee ID is more than 1000, we need to stop it. Okay. Now listen, I'm creating the table. The name of the table is LHub. I'm taking LHub. I'm taking the employee ID. The employee ID is integer. I'm checking that. I'm using the check constraint. Employee ID is less than 1000 is my condition over here, and I'm trying to insert employee name. Employee name is varchar 50 and employee ID is integer. And now observe here, all of you. I'm trying to inserting the record here. Table. The table LHub is in LHub table is created. Now my LHub table employee ID is must and should less than 1000. If you are trying to give the employee ID is 1000 or more than 1000, if you are giving the employee ID as 1000 or more than 1000, it will going to throw a error. Okay, listen. First we'll try to insert the record. Insert into LHub as a table. In the LHub table, I'm trying to insert the values, and the inserting as 101, well and fine, there is no issue. Okay, clear all of you. Now LHub we are inserting, there is no issue here. I'm trying to insert the record that is with 1001, that is a greater than 1. The name of the employee is ABCD. Now it will throw an error saying that the employee ID must and should less than 1000. See here, all of you, it is telling that the check constraint is failed, right? Because the value passed, it is not matching this constraint. It is checking that the column employee ID must and should less than 1000. If you are passing more than 1000, the checked constraint error would be coming. Clear all of you? Take the screenshot of this, and someone is having the question, right? The Gaurav something. Raghav, I hope so, Raghav. Other than Raghav, everyone can leave the class. We'll continue the class on tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll start ASP.NET. ASP.NET, in the ASP.NET we'll see the ADO.NET part. Based on all these, like, stored procedures and queries, whatever the things we have discussed, we'll see the ADO.NET. In the ADO.NET, how to perform insert, update, delete, select with the help of stored procedures. In the Visual Studio ADO.NET, we're going to see on tomorrow's class. And other than Raghav, everyone can leave the session, and we'll continue the class on tomorrow. Bye bye.